You're in town to do a recital of works along with Olga Borodina, and some of the works that you'll be performing are very well known, and some of them are not so well known. And would you tell us a little bit about some of the Russian part of the program?
Well, first of all, it's the fragments from Tsar's Bride, the opera written by Rimsky-Korsakov, and for my opinion, it's one of the best his operas, and it sounds and looking very much like Italian opera. It's got a very, very interesting intrigue in the story, and the whole music, which was written, it was very, very much inspired by Rimsky-Korsakov. There's 2, 3, 4 actually major roles in this opera, touching all of the kind of voices. The main role is written for baritone and for mezzo-soprano and soprano. Tenor's part is a bit smaller, but it's also very interesting and beautiful. So the story is about the time of Ivan the Terrible, and he is, as you know, he's been having a lot of wives. He's never been happy with them. So the favorites of him were kind of gathered from time to time, and he had to choose the brides himself. So he breaks down the story and going between one man and 2 women. It's a very, very intriguing part. What else? I'm sitting to Tchaikovsky's arias from Iolanta. It's the last opera written by Tchaikovsky. It's brilliant and sparkling melody with really beautifully sounding orchestra. And Yuletsky's aria from Pig Down, which is more or less known even in America. Again, in the first part, Olga Borodina, she's singing, we're singing duet and scena together from Tsar's Bride, and she's doing to Delilah's aria from Saint-Saëns. So it's kind of mixed program, but in the second half it's totally Italian music. So we're doing fragments from La Favorita, Italian version of Donizetti, and also scents from Barbieri de Sevilla of Rossini. So this is it, and the orchestra playing a few fragments from Le Domation de Faust and Italiano and Algeri. We just made it yesterday, so I was very, very happy to work with such great orchestra. I should say it's an enjoyable time. I would describe it like that, because you're carried by such pillows around you,
One of your latest recordings contains bits of Russian opera, which will be unfamiliar to most listeners, as here in the West, opera singers still consider Russian to be something of an exotic language. And it's nice to have a singer of your caliber recording this wonderful music. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about these operas, particularly the ones by Rimsky-Korsakov.
I can predict that such operas like Rimsky-Korsakov, Sadko, or Tsar's Bride should be probably on the stage pretty soon, because they all get quite an interesting stories, and it's sometimes it goes like a movie. So in just the public's point of view, it would be very, very interesting to go and have a look and have to see that shows. And also, I'm not talking only of just in the historical term. It's also a beautiful music. And of course, Alexander Borodin, Prince Igor has been performed around the globe, and it's also it contains several versions, which is also given musicians a lot of possibilities to compare the results and to compare which version is better. So the latest one was done by Valery Gergiev, who actually conducts in my recording. Actually, it's a completely new version, and because he made himself a research of archives written by Borodin, because it's not finished opera. So he made the final edition, final version, by picking up piano scores, which is fortunately was some of them was written, some of them was mentioned with letters, etc. So it's a very, very interesting work. And of course, talking about Rubinstein, Ton Rubinstein, who used to be a brilliant musician, one of the best pianists in 19th century, but Westerners and, well, I would say even Russians, are not really aware of what he had done as a composer. This opera that I'm performing, 3 arias from the opera called Demon, written by Mikhail Lermontov's poetry. It's quite a beautiful music, and it's one of my dreams that I would probably ever go and have it done in the stage, or maybe even in the screen, because it's kind of miracle story. Right, and Rachmaninov Oleg, it's his conservatory diploma exams work when he was 17, 18 years old, when he wrote it just to held exam.
It's a one-act opera, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a short opera, but again it contains a beautiful story written by Pushkin. It calls Gypsy. It's another part of my dream that I can ever do it in the stage, because it also the main role is written for baritone.
Well, I know so many of these operas, people would love to perform them if only there were enough singers here who knew Russian, who could sing them. Because people are tired of hearing the same performances of Verdi over and over and over again, and Rossini and all the same things, and people are longing to hear some of these wonderful Russian operas. It's just a matter of having Russians to sing them. So.
I guess Russians are everywhere in America, especially in America, and quite a large amount of new immigrants or just freelance workers like I am. So I think there's not a really kind of deep problem.
One of your earlier recordings features songs by Tchaikovsky and Rachmaninoff. While Tchaikovsky's concertos and orchestral music are very well known, played all the time, of course, the songs are not so well known. They tend to be rather dark in character. I wonder, how did you go about approaching such a large group of songs and still maintain a sense of variety in the music?
Well, first of all, the music is gorgeously written and always described. It helps you to describe the right characters in the right way. And also Tchaikovsky and Rachmaninoff, they two one of my most favorites and adorable composers. So I have been doing music of both of them since I remember myself as a musician. Also, this old bunch of romances, as we call it, or songs, are very well known in in the kind of Russian musician society. And so what I have done, it just was kind of bestsellers, so kind of hits to introduce it to the Western audience. And I've chosen also this garland of songs because I used to make recitals of all those programs, so I knew how to do it in the dramatic line, how to build the program by all those songs. The last thing, that's the only poetry that both composers are using, very high, and it belongs to, I would call, golden age of 19th, 20th century in culture, in the cultural life in Russia. So here we are. It was in this time when I had it done, and was the best, and it was the last what I wanted to introduce, wanted to explain the audience. So I took that advantage, and I'm so happy that audience and listeners are still buying the records for this program. This is makes me very happy.
It's a beautifully sung collection of beautiful music. I wonder if we could talk a little bit about vocal technique, a subject, usually a very hot subject amongst singers. Could you tell us a little bit about how you began singing and what kind of vocal training you had?
Well, I was grown in musical family. My parents are both musicians, amateurs. My mom is a doctor, but she used to sing a lot in her younger time. And my father is an amateur musician too, and he's a chemical engineer. He's a piano player, very good piano player, and he's a singer. So I'm happy to say that he 2 years ago he had opened his professional career as a singer in the age of 56. I still believe he's pretty young. It's just a little of concerns that his career started too late, but it's never too late.
Right.
I believe.
Right.
Since I remember myself, I used to hear my father's training scales, and also my father collected a lot of recordings, classical music. And then I was brought up to music school in the age of 7. So after that age, I've been studied all my entire life. Studied music. When I was 16 years old, studying in chorus conductor school. It's kind of the middle degree school in Russia. I've realized that I have quite a mature voice because we had to sing in a choir a lot. So with that little training, I was distinguished between the colleagues of mine because my voice sounded a bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
And also during this time, I still was doing pop music because I took a gap of complete silence when I stopped singing. I was 12 years old. Actually, it's my father's decision because he made me stop singing because it was dangerous, because of mutation, and the boy's voice, was broken,
Right.
and actually it's happened even earlier in the age of 11 and 12, pretty early for a teenager. So I've been silent for all those 3-4 years, and suddenly I decided to sing pop music and rock music. And I was trying to sing even jazz. So
Really?
yeah, when I was I appeared in the chorus conductor school, I'm just my music profiles again was turned up to classical music. I suddenly became quite successful of doing piano's work for conducting. It was pretty succeed. My singing, it was amazing progress since I began singing. Probably through the 1 year, I'd achieved the high register, the technique of singing high register, because my father suggested me to go to some quite a witch, but male witch, kind of the former opera singer in the age of 85, something like that, who actually taught me for a very few lessons how to do high register, how to breathe. When actually I had some lessons and ordinary lessons at school and chorus school, but they were not that effective at all.
When you say high register, do you mean head voice as opposed to
That's
chest
right.
voice?
Yeah, that connection is very, very important to make no breaks connection between your chest voice and head voice, as we call it, hair register. He just showed me an examples. He was a bass baritone, but paranoid of singing in a tenor register, having a largest voice I've ever heard in my entire life. You could hear this voice when you climb up to the building. And as I remember, he was teaching the 3rd floor. And when you only approaching this building, you could hear it. You could hear his exercise. Amazing voice, very ugly but loud. So I was taught by him, and then he actually promised me that I'm gonna have quite a big career. So I had no doubts at all in the age of 16 that I'm going to have professional singing career. And all my movements, all my purposes were very straight since I realized that. So I had no questions at all that I will move through that system, because you got to finish several degrees, schools to go to conservatory. Otherwise, you will waste your time of studying 2 years in conservatory, preparing yourself as a singer. But I've been taught as a chorus conductor, so I was pretty well knowledged. I was piano player and music theory. and solfeggio, etc. All those fragments was already taught. So I made the step into conservatory after I finished chorus conductor school. All those 5 years I've studied with Ekaterina Iofilna, professor, a leader of a classship in the conservatory. She taught me well and properly. She taught me good, again, breath technique, and I believe because she is quite an interesting person, a very tough woman, and well, she taught me everything. How to behave, how to search, how to make the repertoire research. He taught me a different style of music. She taught me how to even walk, how to look in the stage. So it was very complex. And I can say that in the second year that I came to conservatory, I was already in the opera theater, in the state opera theater. In the third year, I became a leader soloist. And in the fourth year, I was very well known around Krasnoyarsk region. In the fifth year, when I finished conservatory, I had no questions whether I going to be what kind of star. But it still was too far away in Krasnoyarsk in Siberia, so you had to have a jumps. So I went through a competition system. So all those contests, I had them 4. 2 in Russia, in Soviet Union, 1 in Soviet Union, 1 in Toulouse, and 4th one in Cardiff. So everywhere I was a winner. So it helped me to go out, and helped me to go through quite a formal, quite a complicated system in Soviet Union to go out, and to after winning in Cardiff competition, becoming suddenly very famous in Russia, because this quite a crazy name, Cardiff competition, and the singer of the world. So it's the best singer of the world. No matter that you're 28 years or 27, 26 actually years old, and there's a lot of other best singers of the world, at least thousands. But you got this name, you're carrying this name until the next competition. So you should be proud to be called like that.
Indeed.
And as it calls, and then next morning I woke up famous, to be being famous. And then I had an opportunity to start my international career. So here we are. And that's not very long line of since I was a teenager or a kid studying music, and then until I caught the first prizes and the last prize in the first prize in the last competition in Cardiff. It was not that long at all. But I went through a quite a nice and intensive training in the Soviet system.
What roles would you like most to sing? Do you prefer singing opera as opposed to concerts, or what do you like to perform most?
Well, there's several things. Like first of all, being at 32 years old, a baritone, with the potentials of being the dramatic baritone, and quite a wild actor, but being in danger of taking too heavy parts too early. I took that step the step of not taking those parts in the beginning of my career, with quite a careful thinking of myself that I should probably do something different before I'll get into that range, that level. So I've been doing a lot of recitals, doing Tchaikovsky, Rachmaninoff, Western music, Italian antique music in my recital, also doing music cycles, unknown music, contemporary music. That's I've been doing recently, for instance. With that line, taking some operas that I could do. So now I'm pretty more open for dramatic stuff, because I'm going to be 33 in October. I guess this age can let you do something more dramatic and something more dangerous. And also with that knowledge and experiences I had achieved for 5.5, something like that, of my career since I started. I think it would let me to go for a more dramatic repertoire. So I'm doing more Verdi's, more Mozart, for instance. I'm doing Le Nozze and Don Giovanni. But the topest role that I'm trying to think about it's Rigoletto, for instance. But Rigoletto, I think that I should be waiting a bit longer because it's very dramatic part. I think I can sing it right now, but the danger that I can really hurts my voice of performing this part, because with control I can probably even record it, but you would imagine how singing this part and then suddenly you can just simply come off the control and hurt yourself. So I'll be waiting something like 5 years, maybe less. But there's a lot of other interesting parts. But I do not want to sing a kind of a boring routine of being a second-hand baritone in the story, in the opera. Kind of betrayed father, or husband, or someone's boring father, or I'm really looking for interesting and productive work in the opera stage, but in my way. Because I've been spoiled through the whole 5.5, almost 6 years of being on my own on the stage, and then receiving all the success, or never booze yet, touching wood. I used to feel like a leader, still like a winner. So it's a mentally and psychologically it's pretty tough to feel just doing your much smaller part than tenors or sopranos in opera. It's fine, it's nice when you do it from time to time, but not constantly. I've been doing Bellini Donizetti's opera, and it's for fun. It's very, very good training for your voice, and it really develops your voice in the best way. Also, the comic parts are mine too. So I'm doing Barber, and the figure I think suits me very well. So you can relax, you can have fun, you can also achieve quite a difficult music line, and then technique, which is really needs good preparation, good technique. I manage even good coloratura in my voice, so it means that the voice is not that struggling in the both registers. So it's very interesting, and also doing this part, such parts, and you developing yourself as an actor too. So actually, I should say that I'm doing this role in San Francisco, I guess next season or next year. Really looking forward for that.
Yeah, great. We're looking forward to it as well. The Russian operas, the Rimsky-Korsakov, any of those have good baritone parts that you'd like to do on stage?
Well, as I said, in Rimsky-Korsakov, Tsar's Bride, for instance, pretty unknown opera. It actually was performed recently, a few months ago, in Carnegie Hall with Yves Qualer Opera Orchestra, with the most of Russian soloists, including Olga Borodina singing the main mezzo-soprano role, Sergei Laferkus as a baritone, and the beautiful and adorable Annuccia Fucile, Italian soprano, singing a Marfa in the soprano's part. I've been in this performance and I saw reaction from the audience, and it was very, very big success. It's kind of promising. I think that it should be probably performed somewhere in the stage, because it's got to be known. This kind of opera, it's sweet in it, and well, not sweet, it's the wrong word, but it contains beautiful, the best beauty of Rimsky-Korsakov's talent, genius. Because after that opera, he was actually going into more complicated and deep stuff of kind of Wagnerian, like Kitish, for instance, which is also one of the greatest thing to listen and to go to. But this opera is kind of 50% mixture of Italian beauty as well, because it was ordered to him with kind of order, to do it in a bit of Italian way. So, and also, as I said, it has quite an interesting intrigue in the story.